Hey guys, so I just finished jogging and I was having to like really work on my energy today because mentally, I was just really, really anxious and really stressed out this morning. And the reason why I wanted to do this video is because I want you guys to understand like what I deal with sometimes and what I struggle with. And for me, it's always like I think because my life has had moments where things just go terribly wrong, or there are tragedies, or there are circumstances that are out of my control that I just have to work with. I've gotten to this coping place, to this mechanism where I always consider the possibility of a worst case scenario, because if something really, really wrong happens, then I'm better able to deal with the situation. I'm better able to handle that situation. And so for me, like one of my coping mechanisms, one of the ways that I deal with my, levels of anxiety, my stresses sometimes are by considering the worst case scenario and then having an idea of how I'm going to deal with it, how I'm going to handle that kind of situation. And now some of you may be thinking like, you shouldn't be negative. You shouldn't be, you shouldn't think about things in a bad way. You shouldn't expect the worst. That's great in like a fairyland or in like a world where things are perfect or ideal, but this is the real world and we deal with real situations and circumstances that are out of our control. And what set me off this morning was my sister. She had texted me earlier this morning and she had told me she's training for the Ironman competition in Texas. So she's got to do like I don't know, 15, 20 miles of biking or 60 miles of biking. And then she's got to do like 10 miles or 7 miles of swimming and like these extreme physical sports that pushes you to your absolute limit. And she started training for this a few weeks, like about a month ago. She started training for this, and she's been pretty proud of herself with the progress that she's made, and she feels like she's ahead of the game in certain situations because she really does push herself when it comes to her physical activity and her being athletic, etc. But the swimming part is where she's struggling with right now because and what set me off this morning was she texted me and told me that she was having trouble meeting the time that was needed for her to like do well in the Ironman competition. And so she was swimming and then she had to stop and keep taking breaks in between her laps, and she felt like she was behind and she just was stressing herself out over it and freaking out because she wants to meet the times that are necessary to be in the competition. And I was like, this little girl's gonna make me crazy. And I told her, I said, look, the point is for you to finish the competition, not to win it, not to do other than just finish it. I said, you need to focus on just trying to make it through it, and that's it. Like, don't worry about winning. Winning is a different story altogether. We don't need you to win. Nobody needs you to win. I said, everybody just wants you to make it to the end and be okay. And I remember a few weeks ago when my cousin Monica had reached out and she said, hey, are you going to your sister's Ironman competition? And I said, well, hell yeah, I'm going. I mean, she's going through all that trouble and training and getting herself ready, and then for her to go through all of those like things, hell yeah, I'll drive my ass back to Texas and I'll go and be there to support her and show my support. I said, it's one or the other. It's either I'm going to support her or I'm going to plan a funeral. And she's like, God, Nano, like, why are you saying stuff like that? I'm like, because it's the truth. People can become injured, people can get hurt. These are really extreme sports that people push themselves beyond sometimes their capacity, and things do happen sometimes. And so, regardless, I'm going to be there for her. But that kind of thinking, it can come off kind of morbid. It can come off to some people like you're just being negative, or you're being really, like dark and morbid about it. I'm like, no, I this is a coping mechanism for me. And so when she had texted me earlier today that she was having trouble meeting her times, I was like, look, bitch, we don't need you to die. Don't drown. We need you to take your breaks and just get through it. That's all we need you to do. So if you got to take breaks, take breaks. It ain't gonna, this is what we need from you. So, and I think she got that, but even then it's like, just saying that isn't enough for me because it's not really helping me to kind of come to peace with it in my own mind. So as I was jogging this morning and I was listening to my music, I was just really kind of worked up inside, and I was upset because, there is always going to be a possibility of something going wrong. And of course, I have to go through the visuals, and I have this habit of, if something is possible, I consider the possibility, and I see the scenario in my mind. And so for me, the scenario was her doing her laps in the pool, and then no one around, and then her getting tired, realizing that she can't finish the lap, she's too far away from the edge, and then she ends up, going into the water and drowning. And that visual in my mind is not something that I want to see. It's just something that I need to see so that I can be like, okay, this is a reality. Like, this is a possibility with this girl. So, I need to understand that this is a potential. I don't want to, like, one day get a call and be completely out of the blue, just like, shocked or surprised that this happened. I want to know that this is a possibility. She's undertaking this risk. And seeing that and then having that visual in my mind, it makes me, it conditions me to, no matter what, it's going to be okay. No matter what, it's going to be okay. And for a moment, I get worked up and I get upset and I get I start to feel pain, etc. And then I just have to tell myself, this is just a scenario. This is not the reality. Your reality is she is fine. She is okay. She's just practicing for the competition. She's going to do fine. She's going to do amazing, and you're going to be there to cheer her on. Yes, this is a possibility. Yes, this is a potential. But so what? Anybody, and I talk to people every day when I work with clients, and I know how easily someone can pass from something just very random. So, yes, that is a possibility. Yes. And as I'm talking to myself and I'm telling myself these things on my walk, a truck goes by, and on the license plate it has 222, and 222 is one of my sacred numbers, where when I see a number pattern like that, especially 222, it's my higher self. It's my highest intention. It's God, it's the universe telling me, hey, it's okay. Like, don't resist. Accept, embrace, do not resist. Like, you cannot control the world, you cannot control the universe, you cannot control everything. You can only control what you feel in this moment. You can only control how you wish to put your energy out into the world. And right now, yes, this is a possibility. This could always happen, but this is not the reality. And the reality is that your sister is training for a competition, and she's going to do amazing. So that is where you need to be. That is what you need to do. And do not resist what is. Do not resist. Do not resist. Just accept. Be at peace. Be at peace. Be at peace. So when I get those hints from the universe, when I get those subtle, like, hey, Fernie, we get ya. We know where you're going with this. We know what's happening in your head. Calm your ass down. Chill the fuck out, And so as soon as I saw that, immediately, like, that was my trigger, my signal for chill. Yes, it's a possibility, but that's not the reality. Just calm down. Be okay. Just fine. And that did help me. And then after that, I started to kind of shift my energy around and get back into a place where I would say I'm more stable. But I wanted you guys to know, like, what sometimes I deal with, because, loss is a big deal for me sometimes. And I think it helps me to visually have those moments where I can just, if this is a possibility, I just need to, like, this is worst case scenario. Okay, this is what happens. This is how I'll deal with it. And I've had moments like that in my lifetime, where when I'm attached to someone and close to someone, like my mother, where I used to go to work every day and I would leave her alone in the apartment. I always had this fear that I would find her, in a very horrible state when I got home, because you see stuff on TV, it clouds yourself, but then you get to a place where you're at peace and it's okay, it's gonna be fine. Stop. It's fine. So for me, that's what is something that I've done. That's something that I've that's helped me to cope sometimes. But it's always, you get those signals from the universe that tell you, hey, it's going to be okay. Chill. It's going to be okay. And I'm grateful for those signals, because it lets me know that whatever I'm going through, I'm not alone, and that I have support from those above, and those within, and that I am going to get through no matter what comes my way. So it's a coping mechanism for myself, but I wanted to share with you guys like what some of those symbols and signs mean. And sometimes when you're like really in a rough place mentally or internally, like you can shift it around, you can turn it around. And sometimes even if you are having trouble doing that, the universe is going to send you some help to get you to where you need to be at. So, all right, guys, I love you all. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will talk to you guys next time. Okay, bye.